Some of the biggest mistakes that I see people make when they start their business or when they're in startup stages, forming it. The biggest ones is probably doing just enough to get by. I understand that everybody has a budget, and everybody should have a budget, and maybe things are nice to have and not necessary, but it really is very important that you do as much as earthly possible to set yourself up for success. Again, I understand before you have a viable business concept, before you know that you're going to be making money, care what your budget is. If you've got $1 million or $1,000, budget is always an issue. But there are things you can do. There are free resources. There are lawyers like myself that will talk to you for free and wait until such time that you have enough money to afford those services. But at the end of the day, don't do just enough to get by on the things that are important. And because I really do see that come back to bite people, because here's the thing. Nobody ever thinks that they're at that comfort zone yet. And a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years go by and you think, oh man, I should have got that done, and now it's too late. The other thing that I see is business owners are super hyper focused on the things that are in front of them, right? And they don't know what they don't know. Yeah, that's true about everybody, but they're not really focusing on the things that aren't there. So if you have a good business attorney, that's one of the things that we can bring to the table. Not only have we done this type of transaction hundreds or thousands of times, we've had hundreds and thousands of clients that have been through your shoes, and we might be able to give you a different perspective and let you see things that aren't very clear to you. Yes, the average person can certainly read a legal document depending on the length of it and depending on the complexity, but you're not seeing the things that aren't there, or just looking at a business deal, looking at a lease to think, oh, these are the 5 things that are always covered in this type of deal, and you're missing it because you're only focused on, what it looks like from you and it looks fair on its face. The other types of things that I find that are really big mistakes with setting up a business is not asking the hard questions right out of the gates. Not everybody has a batting average where they're batting 1,000. At the end of the day, we're doing our best to get it right with every group of our clients. No one can predict the future, but we will spend an inordinate amount of time at the beginning asking the tough questions that friends and family don't want to ask each other and don't even necessarily know to ask. What happens if someone passes away? What happens if someone becomes disabled? Do you want them part of the business? How do you like their wife? How do you like their husband? If something happens to your partner, you're going to end up doing business with their kid or their wife or their husband. What happens if someone gets a job across the country and has to leave the business and can no longer dedicate the time to this business? Ask those tough questions. Those are huge mistakes, and they always come back to bite you. If you're new here, check out our other content and follow for business tips. Thanks again.